Okay, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about actually doing your pre-group screens. I suggest that you use the AGE strategy, AGE strategy, for conducting your pre-group screens. This document that you see here is actually the AGE strategy. A stands for ask the student the following questions. The G in AGE stands for give the student the following information, and E means that you evaluate the student and whether or not they are appropriate for the group using the questions that are listed here under evaluate. My suggestion is that you take this document into each pre-group screen that you do. Remember, you screen each possible member individually, and so it is my recommendation that you bring a student down to your office, you say hello, you tell them a little bit about yourself, and you explain to them that you want to talk about the possibility of participating in a group experience. You explain to them that you want to ask them some questions about themselves, about maybe if they've been in group in the past, and then you want to explain to them that you'll give them some information about groups, and then reassure them that they can ask you questions at any time throughout your conversation, and explain to them that you'll talk for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. And then I would just jump in and I would ask them if they have ever been in, group counseling of any kind. And I would ask them what that experience was like. I would ask them if they've ever heard about group counseling, either from TV or movies, or I think there's now probably some reality shows that might have certain things about group counseling in them. I would then ask them if they've ever been in individual counseling, and if so, what that was like. I would explain to them that if they were to participate in group, you're hoping that the members of the group would talk about their thoughts and their feelings and talk about their own personal experiences, and I would ask them how easy or difficult it is for them to talk about these things. I would ask if they have any, if they would be concerned at all or nervous or afraid about being in group at all. Even if they tell you that they are not, most students would be nervous about it at bare minimum. It's really important that you normalize that, okay? It's nerve-wracking for anybody to start a new thing, much less to start group counseling experience at their school and potentially with people they've never met before. And then ask them if they have any questions for you, okay? And do your best to answer their questions, okay? As you are asking these questions, I would ask that you jot down their answers. I don't need word for word, but just in general. Have they been in group counseling? Yes or no? If yes, maybe you tell me when, and if you ask them what it was like, if they said it was fun, or they didn't like it, or seemed kind of pointless, or whatever. So I don't need full sentences. I don't need verbatim what they said, but I do want to know what was the gist of the answers that they gave you, okay? After you go through that, and after you have answered any questions that they have for you, you give them the following information. And the most important information is that you give them the topic of the group and the purpose of the group. Okay, you also want to tell them about what time of day the group will meet, about where the group would meet, about how many times the group will meet, about how long. So is it 40 minutes? Is it 45 minutes? Will you meet every week? Will you meet once every 10 days? You will talk to them about the number of students that will participate in the group, and you'll explain to them that you will be leading the group yourself. If you might be one of those people who will be co-leading a group, okay? Either because there is another practicum student at your school, or because the current school counselor wants to co-lead with you, you need to explain that you will be co-leading, okay? The most important part is that you explain that, group is an opportunity for, 4 or 5 or 6 students to get together, and that these 6 students will have the chance to kind of all talk about their experiences with whatever the group topic is. So if the group topic is organization, then 6 people are going to have the chance to talk about if they're organized or not so well organized, or what they need to do better to be more organized. Or if the group is about friendship, then it's it's the time for the members to talk about being a better friend, or making more friends, or keeping friends, or what they wish they had in a friend. So you need to explain the overall purpose and what the members will be talking about. You have to explain to them that their parents have to sign the permission slip. You should talk to them about why it's beneficial to be in a group. And then you need to explain that members are expected to share their own thoughts and opinions and their past experiences. And then you need to talk to them about confidentiality. Okay, you need to explain what confidentiality means. You need to explain the limits of confidentiality. You need to explain that you would ask that all members adhere to confidentiality. And you would explain to them that as a member, they are allowed to talk about their experiences in the group, or they're allowed to tell other people what they have talked about in group. But they cannot talk about the other members. They cannot talk about what other members have said or done. They can't even allude to other members, okay? And you ask them if they would be willing to abide by confidentiality if they were going to be in the group, okay? You need to tell them that if they're in the group, you would expect them to attend every session and to show up on time, and that, as part of the group, they would be required to do kind of small activities. They might even have some homework in between sessions, and that people are going to be required to work on things. So people are going to be required to identify a goal or something they want to improve upon, and they're going to be required to kind of set strategies to make those improvements, okay? At that point, you ask them again if they have any questions. You do your best to answer their questions, and then the pre-group screen is over, okay? In this section, you don't need to write anything down. So you don't need to write down what exactly you said to them about the purpose of the group, or the exact language you use to describe confidentiality and its limits, and you don't have to write down any of the questions that they had, okay? After it's over, you send the student back to class, and then you write the answers to these short evaluation questions. So, how much does a student want to participate? A little, not at all, a lot, okay? And are they making the decision on their own? Meaning, is anybody else kind of influencing them, like a parent or a peer or another school counselor? Okay, and then how willing did they seem to share their personal experiences? A little, a lot, not much at all? Do you know if they have positive behaviors? And does this student seem to fit with the topic and the purpose? And are there any specific concerns that you have? And again, you write this down after the student leaves. These are short answers. It's nothing fancy. And then this is the form that you will submit to me, and you will submit a form for each of the members that you do a pre-group screen with.